Right, let's discuss that now further with the Greenpeace Africa's political advisor, Happy Khamule. Thank you very much, Mr. Khamule, for your time. Now, what's your reaction to what the court has decided today, throwing that matter out of court?
Well, I mean, our reaction is that we are disappointed. We definitely thought that our case would have at least resulted, if not a partial interdict, but a full one until the full case is heard on the basis of what we were trying to achieve. So we are disappointed, but that doesn't stop us from continuing to put pressure on Shell to not continue its activities. In fact, to just stop where it is and return back home.
What was your response to Shell saying as a respondent in the case that there has never been any bad effect on wildlife when they did surveys before?
Yeah, it was quite shocking, but it's not the first time where you hear a large multinational fossil fuel company dismissing environmental concerns because it touches on their bottom line. There's been a long history of multinational companies, in particular Shell as well, just downplaying a lot of the implications that are born from their activities. So in our understanding is that there has been impacts. In fact, even their own report indicated that creatures such as mammal creatures inside the ocean do have an impact, or rather suffer an impact due to the seismic blasting. So it was a bit weird that they spoke with forked tongues when their own report indicated otherwise.
Now, this, throwing out of that urgent interdict, that application for an urgent interdict against Shell means that they can go ahead, right, with their survey. It's supposed to be happening sometime this month. So really, you don't have much time to be able to stop them. Do you think that the next court appearance by Shell, do you think that they might lose that one? What are you going to do? I mean, this is happening this month.
Well, the second interdict is not the one that we did. It is an interdict that is done by particularly the affected community members. So we are yet to see the actual reasons for the interdict, but we are wholesalely and we do support it in any case, because it is touching on something that our interdict had not necessarily touched on. From our side, our interdict was largely touching on the aspects of marine life, as well as the harm that is going to be affected there. And in this case, as an affected community, it's going to take a different dimension. And we hope that in this case, the judge and in fact the court will consider this just as much as they considered what we had put in our application. In fact, in our application, the reasons for our application not being dismissed, or rather being dismissed, were actually not as bad as we thought they were. The part about irreparable harm is what we had to work on. But because of the urgency of the case, we were unable to put that full-on case on front of the judge. But in terms of what the second interdict is going to put forward, or has put forward, it's going to be a different case altogether in terms of the reasons and the argument.
But I just want to go back to my question. I mean, this seismic survey by Shell is supposed to take place this month. So does that give you enough time to, what other avenues will you be exploring to try and stop this from happening with such little time left?
Well, the other avenues is that we would be supporting, of course, the second case that's there, amplifying its concerns. We're already putting a whole lot of public pressure, not only in South Africa, but also within within Shell's locations in the UK as well as in the Netherlands. And we're mounting the public pressure and also inviting people who are concerned to join us on Sundays in terms of the different protests that we'll be undertaking. So there is a public-facing element which is putting pressure on Shell to say that you have to understand that this is not something that we want. But in the illegal sense, there is a case that is there, which is the second interdict, but there's also the initial case that was reviewing the validity of the permits or the licensing that was obtained by Shell. So there are avenues that are there that are being explored in the legal sense, but we're waiting for the initial or the actual case to also be heard, which is only next year. After the interdict or rather the case around the interdict is done, the second interdict in particular, we will see what the verdict is, and then we'll see what the next steps will be.
All right, Happy Khamule, thank you very much for your time. He is the political advisor at Greenpeace Africa.